The Chazon Ish was a huge, towering scholar of the, probably one of the greatest of the 20th century. And towards the end of his life in particular, he was spending most of his day helping people who were going through difficulties, had all kinds of suffering and tragedies, and they came to him for advice and for what we call chizuk, strengthening and so on. And there was one particularly brutal day where all day long he's with horrible stories, and it was the end of the day, it was very late at night, and the Chazon Ish's attendant locked the door for the night, finished, and then the Chazon Ish took his Gemara, he took his Talmud, which he hadn't opened all day. He was busy with people and their tzaras and their problems. And he opened up his Talmud, and he started to study, like with excitement and with youthful joy. So the fellow, his attendant, was looking at this and was a little bit surprised. And he had this thought that, how is it possible, after hearing this last story of October 7th, how is it possible that he just it seems like it didn't touch him at all. Like he's just going back to his Gemara. He's just back to his regular schedule. Like nothing happened. And the Chazon Ish picked up on this. He picked up on this, and he closed his Gemara for a second. He said to this fellow, whatever his name is, Yankel, listen, Yankel, I want you to know that every story that I heard today reached a very deep place inside of me and broke me into 1,000 pieces. And only God knows the truth of that. But I want you to also know that there's a deeper part still inside of me. And that's where I'm going to right now. One of the things about Pnimiyut is that it opens up that deeper part inside. I can't make sense out of what happened. And it's very, very hard to even give words of comfort. I've tried. I've spoken to many of the survivors and families and ex-hostages I've been involved with. And I try and ask God to give words that will give some strength. But at the end of the day, if that person, the survivor, doesn't find something deeper yet to give him life, he could drown in the senselessness and the misery, the darkness. My parents went through all of that, Auschwitz and Mauthausen, they lost their families and so on. How did they survive? I'm not talking about how they survived the Germans. How did they continue on afterwards when they came here to America? And I grew up in a home that I felt was happy. Of course, there was always that cloud, but I was raised my sister and I were raised in a home that was happy. My parents set out on a mission. And that mission was that there's something deeper yet than Mauthausen and Auschwitz. There's something deeper. To continue the chain, to revive what happened at Mount Sinai, to bring it to our children and our grandchildren, and to do our best to teach them of what once was and what must be. Those who found something deeper inside of themselves were able to continue on. They had something to live for. Those who were unable to find something deeper, they were very, very lost. So one of the amazing fringe benefits of studying the deeper aspect of Torah is that it opens you up to something still deeper. And in that place, no matter what it is that's going on in your life, you could find comfort, you could find strength. It's where you hear God speaking to you in a more direct way than through the outer layers of Torah. And when a person feels that connection, he has a relationship with Hashem. When you have a relationship with God, even though I don't know why you did this to us, I don't know why this happened to us, but I'm still in it. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to stay with you. So you could feel that the same God who gave you a smack on the back, but he's hugging you with two arms. And that's a way to survive October 7th. So I think that all of this is connected through experiencing God, Hashem, and Yiddishkeit, but in a deeper way, in a deeper way, in a soulful way. Then a person is able to open up the Gemara after hearing all the hard, bad news, the difficult news about what happened to yesterday's Jews that were killed. That's the only way that I know of.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.